All right, one of the most popular segments on modern television. Kind of. All right, I don't know if you saw this a little earlier. All smiles for the big photo ops. You'd never assume there are any problems. But I got to tell you, at this G7 summit, the odd man out is the President of the United States. Now, that seems to be the way he likes it. Let's get the read from our young and funky kids. And we begin with Dion Baya, Fox News correspondent Leah Gabriel. I don't know why she said yes. We're so happy she did. We've also got Kat Pintak with us, and internet radio sensation, and my friend Mike Gunzelman. They call him Guns. Yeah. Dion, what do you make of this?
I don't know. He's getting into odd territory where he's tweeting about our allies, and then it's like openly airing our laundry, or his dirty laundry about what's going on. And
but maybe that's a good thing. What do you guys think? Well, good thing?
Well, I think it's Trump being Trump. And, I mean, we've come to expect this by now. And the only reason they're mad at us is because his policies and everything, the terrorists are helping us. And they're affecting Macron in Canada and Germany, their economies. So I don't care as long as our president's looking out for ourselves.
And no one should be surprised by this, because although Trump has been kind of all over the place on a lot of issues, he has been very consistent on tariffs.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be surprised to see that he's been doing this. And it doesn't really matter what I think, doesn't matter what Macron thinks, doesn't matter what Justin Trudeau thinks. He's not going to change his mind.
But you do this with your friends.
Yeah, I think that this is a president who promised to bring his business style to the White House, and I think this is where he's most comfortable. I think he likes to do this. The only problem here is that, you know, in sort of the free market, you can always walk away from a deal because you can just find another company to do the deal with, but you can't just say, oh, well, I'm just going to find another Canada to deal with right now. So I think that that's the challenge here, is that this is a different kind of deal that he's doing with countries rather than with companies, but I think that that's just the way he likes to run things.
I wonder if we spread ourselves too thin. You ever have relatives who seem to fight with everybody?
Right, there's always that one person that just wants to, go at everybody.
If they have a valid point, I mean, he is. If in fact the facts back up what he says about.
I've looked into these numbers. He has a lot of legitimate beefs with these guys. But we also are dealing with China. We're also dealing with North Korea. They're to pick and choose.
Well, people are worried that we're isolating ourselves from our friends. But I'll say this: so many of our relationships with our allies come down to our defense with them and the relationships that were forged through common defense. And I'll tell you, our allies, they're going to be there for us when they need us. They're going to be our friends when they need us. And
you are very young to be so jaded. I mean, yeah, but you're probably right.
But historically too, you probably, I'm sure not everyone's seen eye to eye historically, and maybe in keeping up appearances they do in front of the cameras, and then behind the scenes.
There's just nothing anyone can do to change this. Clearly, he's going to keep tweeting whether you like it or not.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, because he's also fighting over the people who come to the White House or don't come to the White House. The NBA championship, of course, isn't over. This is the basketball one. Anyway, the president has already had this to say about a potential White House visit from the winning team. Take a look at this.
I didn't invite LeBron James, and I didn't invite Steph Curry. We're not going to invite either team. But we have other teams that are coming. My attitude, if they want to be here, it's the greatest place on earth. I'm here. If they don't want to be here, I don't want them.
What do you think of that?
Well, I agree with Trump, the president on a lot of things, but here I don't think the whole team should be penalized just because, or punished just because of a couple players. Like last year when the Astros won, you had Beltran and Correa. They both didn't go to the White House to be honored, but the rest of the team went. So just because you have outspoken LeBron or Steph Curry or Steve Kerr as well, I don't think that should hurt the other players from being honored. I mean, it's a privilege. Just because you don't agree with the president doesn't mean that you don't respect the office of the president.
So whose fault is this?
I think it's guilty by association. I mean, you have the most outspoken people on the team saying these things, and Trump's going to take it to heart, and then he's going to say, well, you know what? No one's coming then. You ruined it for everybody out of the pool.
He probably just didn't want to deal with it. I'm kind of grateful that we've avoided a whole news cycle of people saying, oh, I'm not going to go to the White House.
Well, don't worry, you're not invited.
Yeah, exactly. You said, well, you're not invited. I know it's a traditional thing, but just like he doesn't go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, he's just trying to nip things in the bud and keep from having to deal with these issues.
That's true, and I think that if any of these players were like, oh, I really, really want to go to the White House, I think he'd be like, come on, come have dinner at the White House. But who wants to have somebody over to their house, for dinner if they don't want to be there?
Like if you knew Guns was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, by definition, not.
I'm a whole lot of fun, I swear.
Well, he's nipping it in the bud. He's like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with this.
I don't want to even go.
and we put the spread out.
This reminds me of Life on Mars. See the segue
Great
there?
transition.
You're good at this.
Thank you. Anyway, apparently they've been investigating this planet one time, and this rover, this has been traversing the Martian surface now for the better part of 5-6 years. Anyway, they seem to have indicated, NASA, that it's discovered the elements that might have been there for life billions of years ago. It's a big deal. We're sending up another capsule that's going to actually burrow inside the planet. We always look for life up there, and now there are indications, at least at a time, it might have had it.
I think this is great. I mean, I think this hopefully will kickstart the NASA whole program again and get us back at the forefront, because with the last administration kind of relegating NASA to solve what was happening with
But we don't
car
give
crash
up with
problems.
Mars, do we? Mars is the place.
No, we got to keep going. And in fact, I called my good buddy Buzz Aldrin on this one because he is the self-proclaimed
Name
Mars.
as you-
As you do.
The second man to walk the
That's
moon.
true.
Yeah.
But I did call him, and he said, "Look, he said we've got to explore. If we don't explore, we expire." And he's really passionate about getting a manned mission to Mars and getting people back in space, and also about the U.S. taking leadership again in the
life,
space
without
program.
life, the
It's
search for
not
life.
just NASA either. We have all these billionaires. It's like as soon as you become a rich dude, all you want to do is go to space. I don't understand that at all. But I don't even
Their
think you
money.
need
I just-
NASA.
I just want to send Nancy Pelosi there. Get her out.
Just
She looks like an
lovely.
alien anyway.
Everything comes back.
You know, you think
All
of it with
right.
other. Okay, that means for me to be quiet. All right.